Yay.
That's good.
Yep. All right. Okay, so I've never done this before, but I'm Leah with Emerald Coast Beach Homes, and this is my friend Nick Ziegler. And he is the second person that I sold a house to, because I am just 1 year into real estate, and this is Nick's first time in Destin.
Yeah.
He bought this townhouse last year, and I just wanted to ask him a couple questions about it so you guys could understand what the whole experience was. So I guess, how did we meet? I mean, how
Yeah, so luckily for me, Leah and I had already known each other prior to her career in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was already comfortable with her, and I knew that if nothing else, that she would work very hard. So I needed somebody that I trusted here because I was living in Africa at the time when I wanted to purchase my home. And so just having somebody that I could trust on the ground was really important to me.
Okay, so what made you pick the Destin area?
So I had never been to Destin before, but what was important to me was that since I travel a lot for work, I wasn't going to be able to visit my home that often. And so I wanted to make sure that we had something that could financially make sense and that not only maybe cover my expenses, but also make a little bit of money too as a vacation rental.
Mm-hmm.
So those were kind of my prerequisites for what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and so he contacted me and we started our search for a property that would make sense, numbers wise, location wise, all of that. And we narrowed it down to about, three different properties that we're kind of going back and forth about. And this one just seemed to make the most sense. And so we bought it.
Yeah.
And that was quite an interesting transaction.
Mm-hmm.
As he said, he was in Africa at the time. So it was definitely interesting. Time zone changes.
Sure.
Dealing with, military bank.
Yeah.
Going through all of that.
Yeah, so there were some challenges associated with that kind of stuff. But again, it was important for me to have somebody that I trusted on the ground that could both be patient with the process that I had to deal with because I wasn't going to physically be here for the purchase, and then also somebody that I could trust here that we were making the right decision. So I could make financial decisions from abroad and handle that aspect on my own. But as far as actually seeing the community and where things were and where like the community development was taking place and real estate growth was taking place, I had to rely on Leah's opinion and knowledge of the market for that. So it was really, really helpful.
Yeah, and I have to say that everything went super smooth. I was impressed.
Maybe that's on your end. On my end, and the loans and everything like that was a little bit challenging. But as far as I did feel that way, as far as the actual search and the purchase went, I would say we had been searching maybe a month, to kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
And then by that time, we were pretty much we had identified at least a property that I thought financially made sense, and Leah was really, really receptive to what it was that I was looking for. And so it didn't take a lot of, let me put it this way, it didn't take a lot of like back and forth until you were able to narrow down what it was that I wanted.
Right.
And I also think that that's important for buyers too, is like if you can clearly communicate what you want, then that person is going to be able to help you find it. But if you can't, there's no way that somebody's going to find you what you want. So it really takes a little bit of introspection first, and then communicating that, I think, to the agent. And then on the back end, which is of course Leah's responsibility, is have somebody who's receptive to that and hears what it is that you want and is willing to deliver.
Yes, and even if it's not on the market, if I know exactly what you're looking for, I can find it, and I will call people and find that property for you, and just make it work, make it happen.
Yeah, and this is why we're actually here today, because I actually just came down for the first time to see my property after almost a year.
Almost a year.
And but that relationship never ends, right? So we were just out this morning looking at another house, just because, like Leah was saying, if you don't have what you want right away, when it pops up on the market, that's an enduring relationship, right? And so if you have somebody that you can have that kind of relationship and trust and confidence with, then it doesn't matter whether you're a year out or 2 years out. They're always going to give you that phone call when they find something that fits that bill, because they'll remember you. So that's I think an important relationship to have with the agent.
Absolutely. And I'm all about relationships. It's people. It's always been about people, and that's why I think we connect so well, because you're the same way, and so that just makes me happy.
Yeah. No, it can be a tough balance to strike, right? Because we're both very people-oriented people, for lack of a better word, right? And so we have that bond. But then when the interesting thing is, when it came to purchasing this property, I was very much transactional. It was nothing but math for me.
Oh,
I physically wasn't here, so I had no emotional connection to the town because I've never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I had no emotional connection to the home. I wasn't going to be here all the time,
right?
Because of my travels. And so we meshed very well as far as our relationship went. But when it came to actually making the purchase, I had to be I was clear really early on with Leah that this isn't an emotional decision. This is a financial one.
Absolutely.
And in return, she hit the ground running for places that would basically satisfy that priority. And we were able to kind of match that up, and this is what we came up with.
Yes, and it's beautiful. Love it. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time and
absolutely
talking.
Hopefully we'll get to do it again someday.
Yes, you have to come back now. You do own a place here.
Yeah.